Welcome to Rock Your Reinvention, the show for high-achieving career women who refuse to settle for mediocrity and aren't afraid to take bold action. This is a place where you can authentically show up, where every dream and goal can be validated and achieved. Hi, I'm your host, Karen Freeland, a certified life reinvention coach, speaker, and award-winning author. I'm here to give you the tips, tools, and strategies to help you shift your mindset, build your confidence, and take meaningful actions so you can rock your reinvention. Ready to go from stuck to thriving? Let's go. All right, I have a really exciting Rock Your Reinvention for you today. I am so excited for my guest. And before I introduce her and bring her in, I just want to tell you a little bit about a program that I have called Success Without Sacrifice. It is for high-achieving women who are in the corporate environment and they are sick of sacrificing their time, their health, their well-being, their mental health for their job. They want to stay in corporate, right? They love what they do, but they need a little help with balance and figuring out their career goals. So I put together this program as a way to bring together women who are similar, like-minded, different stages sometimes in their career, but they're all dealing with the stress, the overwhelm, the burnout feelings. And the reason I wanted to put together a group program is because everyone was coming to me. A lot of my clients were saying, like, I'm a hot mess. I'm the only one who's probably feeling this way. Oh, Karen, I must be the worst case you've ever seen. And I was like, nope, not true. I see this all the time with my clients. And so I needed a way to bring that all together. And I have been there, right? I've been in so many situations where I felt like I was trying to balance it all and I felt like I was drowning, but I looked around and everybody else seemingly had it all together. So I thought I was the only one who was going through it. I'll tell you more about the program later. You can check out more at karenfreeland.com/success. But what I really want to do is, instead of me talking about the program, is bring somebody who has been through the program to share her real life experiences. So today I have got with me one of my special star clients from Success Without Sacrifice, Amanda. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. It's so nice to see you again.
I know, I was really looking forward to talking to you, honestly.
And I just want to let everyone know this is not rehearsed. So Amanda does have the questions that I'm going to ask her, and she's going to give us that real, honest feedback from, her perspective, why she invested in herself, why she's done what she did. And hopefully, as you're hearing me ask her these questions, you're going to be able to decide whether this is something that you would be interested in. So she knows what I'm going to ask her, but it's not scripted and I don't know her answers to the questions. So we're just going to see how this goes. So Amanda, before we go any further, I would love to have you just introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do for work, and maybe a fun fact.
Yeah, so my name is Amanda. I'm 27 years old. I'm from New Jersey. I still live in New Jersey. I currently work as a contracts administrator. And a fun fact about me is I love to travel. So me and my best friend have a deal where we try and go to one national park a year since we graduated. So I've been to 5 national parks. I don't know if 2024 will happen. There's a lot of weddings, so it's eating a lot of my budget. But yeah, so that's my, what I do on my free time when I'm not working and how I spend my PTO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I think if anyone is listening, it's just a reminder that we sometimes just need a forcing function. Like we just need to say, hey, let's do this thing and carve out some time for you and your besties and just to go live your best life. So smart.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go back to when we first met. What was happening in your life at the time that you learned about the program Success Without Sacrifice? And what specifically fueled you to apply for the program?
Yeah, so at the time I was 25, about to turn 26. It was only a year ago or a little bit more than that now. And I, like every stereotype, I felt so trapped and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was still at the same company that I started at out of college. I was constantly like setting goals in my head, didn't write anything down, didn't tell anybody, and then obviously didn't achieve those goals. I was participating in major negative self-talk. I was looking at jobs, but also saying to myself, why would I apply for that? I'm not qualified for that job. What if the next company I'm at is worse and I hate it even more than my current company? And I was just crying constantly about my job and my life. And because didn't have a plan, I was comparing myself to people on social media. The other 25-year-olds seemed to either be still in school, working towards a goal, a new degree, or like had these amazing careers and were making six figures. And I was like, how are they doing this? Like, I'm barely making anything. I'm still living at home. I couldn't even imagine not living at home right now. And I was crying to my mom about it constantly. And then one day she kind of said, I think you need like help. Like, I think you need to talk to someone. I know this person from Verizon Wireless that now is a life coach. Let me like give you her information. And I immediately set up the initial call and like didn't look back.
Yeah, I know. I remember that first call. And if people could have seen you in that moment to how you are now, I mean, 180 probably doesn't even do you enough justice. I feel like you did like, I don't even know what the equivalent of something more than that would be, but it's just like you've completely transformed every facet of your life.
No, seriously. And just like looking, like doing this and like thinking about where I was at a year ago, it's insane. And just reflecting on like these questions, I think like social media was a big part of like bringing me down. And actually, one of the first goals that I set when we started the program was deleting TikTok. And it made me realize how many hours I was just wasting and not doing things and just scrolling on there. So that was a huge part. And now I just kind of whatever about social media, like I log out of it constantly, delete it off my phone constantly. I don't even pay it any mind.
Yeah. I know. I was just talking to a client actually right before this. I had a client call and we were talking about social media also. And I have started saying, I have like a sentence that I just say to myself when I find myself scrolling, and I'll say it out loud and I just go, there's nothing in here for you, Karen. And then it makes me close it out because it's like, what am I searching for?
Seriously, like I don't
like do I actually need something? Am I looking for a video that's going to give me information? Well, then if there is, I need to do a quick search and I need to find the one thing that I need. Or am I looking something up so that I can comment to somebody else or like whatever? What am I doing in here? And if there's not a specific reason, then there's nothing in here for me. And then it makes me close it out. Anyway, that's my free tip for today, everybody.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
But it takes a lot of strength. And so I'm really proud of you that you were able to just not only set that goal, but really follow through for yourself and trust yourself that this is what you needed to get yourself to the next level. So what are the biggest changes or, wins that you've noticed since you reinvented your life and you were part of the Success Without Sacrifice program?
Well, first of all, I compare myself to others way less. Obviously, we all do that, but like it doesn't bother me as much. I'm not as like anxious all the time about having a plan. I'm kind of like taking life as it comes, whatever paths open up. I'm way more positive. I don't constantly doing that negative self-talk. That doesn't happen anymore. I've actually achieved goals, so it makes me more confident to achieve the next goals. And I've kind of learned that writing things down holds a lot of value, not just saying them in my head and not even telling anybody about them and just kind of voicing those things helps a lot and talking things through. I seriously, just thinking about where I was last year, I really am. I learned the power of positive thinking. That was like a huge, when that clicked for me, that like really changed everything.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, the biggest changes I noticed in you initially was just that shift in your mindset. And sometimes people can't necessarily see that on the outside, or it's not something really tangible like, oh, I wrote a book and now I have this physical book that I can hold. It's like, no, I just think about everything in my life differently, more positively. And that can be really hard, but it can be one of the most impactful things in any person's life.
Yeah, and it sounds like if you told me a year ago, like, just manifest, just like say positive affirmations, I'd be like, that's stupid. But now I'm like, no, like if you start saying them and believing them, like good things happen. Like that was one that I would say to myself, so simple. I would say good things are going to happen, and good things started happening. So yeah.
Yeah. It's so powerful. But I think you have to be sometimes in the right place in your life
Hmm.
where you're willing to start accepting that.
Yes.
And it
True.
sounds
Yes.
like you were like, okay, I've tried all the other things on my own. Nothing is changing or getting better. Here's this woman. She's telling me to do these things. Maybe she knows something I don't. I'm just going to trust her and take some leap of faith. But you started doing it and then it started working.
Yep.
Yeah. So important for anyone who's thinking about coaching, whether you coach with me or you coach with somebody else. You've got to have that open mind and like willingness to do something a little bit different than how you've done it before.
Hmm.
Okay, so what made you have the confidence to invest in yourself and get that next level of support?
So I thought a lot about this one, and I'm not sure if it was confidence, but it was just like I wasn't going to accept this life anymore. I wasn't going to accept being miserable anymore, and just this I was just full of self-pity. I just wanted anyone else's life but my own. Everyone else's life looked better than mine, and everyone
Right.
seemed to have it all figured out, and which is not true at all. So I just kind of said like enough is enough. I want to stop crying all the time. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I want to actually go and do things. And, because I was in a cycle of I would log off at 5 o'clock and do the scrolling thing. Like that was eating up so much time. And it was just this vicious cycle of, the negativity. And it was just a bad place to be in. So I kind of was like, enough is enough. I'm not going to be this negative, miserable person anymore. I want to be happy. So it was really just allowing myself to be happy.
Yeah. And you're worth it, right? To spend that money on yourself to say, no, that I deserve a better path forward and I deserve to be happy. Let me do what I need to do to make sure that I can make that happen.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because I think a lot of women want coaching, but they're like, I don't know, there's so many other things I could spend it on, or shouldn't I be saving? But they don't always see the return on investment. And I know your return on investment, I mean, you got it even from the first program, but a really tangible return on investment for you was when we started working together one-on-one after the program, and you got a job and you got quite a nice raise when you moved companies, right?
Yeah, no, that was huge. And even like, I don't think that would have happened if I didn't go through the program and it didn't continue with one-on-ones. Because I think going through the group sessions was a great setup for one-on-ones with me. Because I think there were certain things I wasn't willing to admit to myself in group sessions. It definitely like laid the base. And then
Yeah.
one-on-ones, we really like got in deeper.
Right. Yeah, cool. Well, I just wanted to bring up that investment piece because I think everyone should invest in themselves, and we can't leave it to our companies or to other people to invest in us. We need to do it for ourselves. So what surprised you most about being in success without sacrifice? Like, did anything happen that you didn't expect?
Yes. So I didn't realize the level of support that I would feel from the other women in the group. Like they actually cared. I kind of just thought I would log on, talk to them, whatever. Like I'm here for me, whatever about them. But they actually really cared and wanted me to achieve my goals. And I likewise wanted them to achieve their goals. Like when someone was actually achieve something, it made me feel happier and motivated me to work on mine. And I still feel that level of community and support even now. Like when we get together with the group, people are calling out like, oh my gosh, that was a goal that you set in group, and that it's almost been a year. And the fact that these women still remember it and are happy for me and genuinely happy for me, and I'm genuinely happy for them when they achieve their goals anytime I see it on LinkedIn or something like that. So I wasn't expecting this like community. That was a shocker, and it's been great.
I love that. We all need community. We all need people in our corner who are going to cheer us on and help us see the possibilities and all the things that we're really capable of.
And it was just people that get it. Obviously, they're women working, and so they've get it. They can relate, and you can relate to them. So that's huge.
Yeah. And it was nice because in your group, and this doesn't happen for every group is different, but there were like some seasoned women who'd like been in corporate for a long time. And then there were some other women who were relatively new to the corporate space. So it was great to be able to watch like some of the younger ones inspire and re-energize some of the older ones, and some of the older ones to provide this wisdom to the younger ones. So even though it's group coaching and I'm facilitating the program, there's a lot of space for everyone to contribute and share their golden nuggets and their advice.
Yeah, no, and I think our group was the best group. I don't know the other ones, but I love our group.
I mean, your group was pretty awesome, so yes. But I love all my groups, of course. So let's go back to this idea of confidence. And I know you said earlier, maybe confidence wasn't exactly what was fueling you at that one point, but how would you say that your confidence has improved since completing Success Without Sacrifice?
I just am way more secure, and I think that kind of happened because I was comparing myself. Like I said, I wasn't comparing myself to others anymore after going through the program, and just way more like this, this is my path. Whatever happens. Someone's on a different path. Maybe they're ahead of me, or quote unquote ahead.
Right.
It's not a game. So I just kind of stopped thinking of life as like these are the steps you need to reach before you turn 30. It just kind of is like, this is what's going to happen. Whatever happens. And I'm fine with that. I kind of knew it was true when my friend was telling me like someone she knew got a job and she knew the salary they were making. And me and her used to like stress about this. We're like, they're the same age as us and they're making how much? Like, how are they doing that? And I was just kind of like, well, I wouldn't want the job that they're doing to make that salary. So I really don't care how much money they're making. It's not worth that job. So I'm just way more secure with where I'm at in all aspects, like financially, in my job, in life. So
I love hearing that because, I mean, comparison really is the robber of joy. It steals all of our joy. And when we can get that under control and we can learn how to navigate those feelings and emotions as they come up, like we're just so much more empowered and joyful in our life.
Yeah, no, I'm a perfect example of that.
Yeah, no, you are. I'm so glad you were able to overcome that because, just think about living your life through that lens. I have people all the time, 30 is typically one of those milestones, right? Well, I thought I'd be so much further along at 30. And it's like, okay, but you're not. You are where you are. So we can either learn to love this or you can continue to be self-deprecating and feel like you're not enough. And that's going to hold you back. And you're not going to be able to achieve everything that you would have been able to if you could just let that go and learn to love your circumstances and figure out the path forward from there.
Exactly.
That's what we do here. We just help everybody through these little challenges. And speaking of challenges, I do like to keep it real. And I don't want to act like, you're going to come through this program and suddenly every single problem in your life is going to be fixed. I mean, there is work that goes with this program, right? You don't just show up to the calls. There's a whole success blueprint. You're filling out the different pages as we go through the modules each week. So what would you say from your perspective was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome or that you faced during the program?
So for me, it was really putting in the work and like not just saying I wanted to achieve these goals, but actually doing them. And then the other thing was like really letting go of the negative self-talk and buying into the positivity. That took me a while. It's not like after the first meeting, I was like, yeah, I'm the most positive person ever. So just kind of getting out of my own way and kind of getting out of my own head was hard. It took time. It wasn't, it wasn't overnight at all. I think it even one-on-ones probably is when it really clicked. And like I said, the group sessions laid the groundwork, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think the group sessions got you to the point where you saw, things could change. Like I could have a different existence. There's something to all of this. Now let me go that next layer deep.
Yes. No.
And was there anything, because you bring up a good point, right? Like finding the time to do the work and investing in doing the work. Was there anything that you did that made that easier?
Well, I think just having the schedule of knowing that you have 2 weeks between each group session. So We did have homework, so it's like it forces you to do it just by knowing like you don't want to be the only one that doesn't have anything to say. Like it is like school in a way where you like need to do the homework, and just having the Facebook group available so you could say like I'm struggling with this, or having you available to kind of explain it more, work things through more. That helped a ton because it forced you to schedule your life out more, which I certainly wasn't doing before.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you got to put that time in the calendar
Mhm.
and be like, "All right, well, this is due by next Thursday, so if I don't want to show up without it, I better find the time to make it happen." Yeah, that's great. And I'll just say because Amanda brought up a good point, you've got access to a private Facebook group just for the women in the program and the vets in the program, which is kind of nice because then, you can keep that community going, but it is separate from my Facebook group, Successful Working Women Rocking Reinvention. Anyone can join that group, but we really try to keep all of the stuff from Success Without Sacrifice in a separate group. So it's a little bit more intimate and closed off just for the people who are in that program. So I know we've already mentioned this, but you decided to continue coaching with me one-on-one after the group session. What would you say to someone that is trying to decide between group coaching and one-on-one coaching? How would you help them decide which one's best for them, or should they do both? Like from your perspective, what did you think?
So I think it depends on what you're looking for. Like if you're like feeling really isolated and you do want that sense of community, definitely do the group sessions. It's also nice if you're not sure where you're at with your career and maybe you want to switch careers but don't know what you want. It's great to hear what other women are doing, what the challenges they face in their careers, and kind of like what other companies are like. Because I never worked for another company when I joined the group. So it was interesting. It was like, okay, so that's common, in a lot of corporate companies. It's not just mine. All right. That now I can let that go because that's kind of, it is what it is. And then with one-on-ones, I feel like you really need to be ready to put in the work with one-on-ones. And like I said, at the time when I did group, I don't think I was. I think I wasn't ready to admit certain things. So it kind of depends on where you're at. I mean, it worked for me to do both, but I get it. Not everyone has all that, the time and money to do that.
Sure.
You can't go wrong with either one. So it really depends on where you're at. If you need like more hand holding and you don't think you'll do the work, doing group sessions, then you should do one-on-ones. But if you really want that sense of community and you want to relate to other women, you should do group.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point too. Like being able to hear from others what is happening in their organizations. And then you start to realize, oh, this is how other people's companies are running too. Or, well, what have you done to get around that? And you get these great ideas that you can then take back and implement in your organization to make your job easier and have more balance and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, and it's great. I think there was like a couple of ideas that I maybe brought back to my company, and then you're like, your company's like, whoa, that's a great idea. We should do that here. So it does help you in your career being in group.
Yeah, because you can learn from everybody. And I
Mhm.
remember too, one of the women, not you, but one of the other women was trying to get another job in marketing, and she was way low balling her salary. And one of the other women is hires for people in that similar role and was like, "Oh no, you should be making at least 10 to 15,000 more." And she was like, "Really? And it was like I'd been telling her this for weeks, but it was almost like you sometimes need that other person to say the
Mhm.
same exact thing. And then you're like, oh no, okay, Karen's not BSing me. Like, this is real.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that perspective. I think women sometimes worry, and rightly so, that a group program won't be personalized enough for them. So, what did you think about the level of individual attention that you received throughout the group?
Yeah, no. So I think a huge point of group it is that it's super helpful to see other people get coached in group because you can relate to pretty much anything that another woman that's working is going through. So it's almost more helpful in a way to watch you kind of or watch someone else work something else out. Because maybe it's not your number one thing right then, but it's something that maybe it'll come up later or kind of backburnered right now because you're focusing on something else, but it's like good to see them work through that. And I mean, you're still getting individual coaching, it's just in a group session. And then of course you're very available. So I never felt like I was left out or forgotten ever because, you know, you make time for everyone. So that was never an issue, not feeling like I was getting coached or anything like that.
Yeah. Good. Because I know sometimes coaches will try to have like 30 people in a cohort. And it's like, how can you ever expect to get any individual attention when you have got 30 people and you're meeting for an hour? So I've been really conscious about keeping it to a group of 8 to 10 women. And I know for your cohort, there were 4 women. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it really just depends on how many people sign up for that round. It could be smaller, it could be larger. I mean, I've run it as small as 2 people in a cohort. So it's just kind of the luck of the draw. And I believe that the universe gives us exactly what we need. So if
Mhm.
you're whoever you're meant to be paired up with is exactly who you're going to be paired up with for the sessions. Okay. So what was your experience with the other women like? You talked about it a little bit, but can you just share a few more details maybe about some of the camaraderie or the insights that you got from other people and what that maybe you've continued relationships with any of them? I don't know.
Yeah, no, so kind of like you said, the women were at different points in their careers. So the women that were more established in their careers, I kind of saw them as like role model mentors, and I really valued their opinion, and kind of they even kind of were like, learn from our mistakes, like we did this, don't do that, or this
Right.
worked, and what, you know. And then the one woman that was, we were the same age, it kind of made me feel like I'm not crazy for thinking this way and feeling these things. It was like a sounding board that like someone else my age is thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking and is still trying to figure out what their career is or like what the next step is, versus the other women that have these amazing careers and kind of can give more advice. And you know, especially with like work-life balance, that was something that they kind of needed to work on, I think.
Yes.
So it was kind of great to hear, like they were like, no, 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 don't let work take over, like don't fall into that pattern.
Yeah. So again, sometimes we just need to hear that from other people and from multiple people. And then we're like, okay, there must be something to this.
Hmm.
Great. Well, what would you say? Kind of last words here. What would you say to someone that is interested in success without sacrifice but hasn't taken the steps to apply it?
So I think about, like, obviously it's time and money, and I know that's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but I think about like if I didn't spend this time and money, I would be spending way more emotionally, just living in this miserable cycle that I was in. So any amount of money was worth it to me to get out of that. And I actually, like, I had an accident recently, and I'm still working on like healing myself, and I've been complaining about money a lot because it costs a lot to go through health issues. And I'm, you know, working through pain management and stuff like that. And my brother said to me, he was like, well, any amount of money is worth it to not be in pain. And I think that applies here, to not be in mental pain or like, you know, hate your life Monday through Friday.
Yes.
It's worth any amount of money to get out of that cycle.
Oh my gosh. I remember feeling that back in, 2019, feeling like there's no way out. This is my life. This is my bed. I just have to stay here. And I would have paid any amount of money if someone had come in and said, Karen, I can help you. I would have been like, great, take my credit card.
Hmm.
Help
I
me
used
get out of this situation.
No, I used to joke like, I'll take any job, I'll take any other job, like I'll clean toilets, like I'll scoop elephant poop, because anything is better than this. Like I need a way out.
Yeah, I know. I've been there too, where I'm like, I just want to go back to waiting tables so
Yeah.
that I can just, be done with my shift at the end of the day. But I mean, realistically, we all know we wouldn't really be happy doing that, but we're just in so much pain that getting out is the easiest way. And
Hmm.
so, that's part of why I want to create this program too, because I don't want women leaving the workforce if that's where they like to be and if that's what's going to help them achieve their goals, their personal goals, their professional goals. I want to help them create that balance in their life and find a way to love both life at work and life outside of work.
Exactly. And if anyone is just thinking about it or sees your post and is kind of like, I'm not sure, I don't want to commit to that, just set up the initial call. Like, just it's free. So why not just talk to you and see if it's worth it for you? It was for me. I opened up to Karen immediately. So for me, it worked. But yeah, if you're just thinking about it, why not do that? If, it's only like a half hour of your life to do the initial call.
Yep.
Might as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And it really is. I mean, we're interviewing each other, right? As coaches. It's like, I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for the person on the other end of the line. And they want to make sure that I'm a good fit for them, because I might be like, yeah, I think I can coach you. I can solve all your problems. No problem. And they're like, but I don't jive with you. And I'm not going to jive with everyone. And that's okay. But the only way to find out is to get on a call and see if it's a fit.
Exactly.
Well, I am so proud of you for making that initial call, for signing up and investing in yourself, and for doing the hard work, because you, like I said, you have just grown leaps and bounds. And I can't wait to see what 2024 is going to bring for you.
Me too, because I don't really know what my goals are. I'm still figuring that out, but I'm also fine with that. I'm like, I'll just, whatever comes may come, and, and I'm, bringing in that positive manifestation. So I'm just feeling good about it.
Yeah. And sometimes that's where we need to be. Like, we don't need to have everything etched in paper, and we can just be open to the possibilities that arrive for us.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited. Keep me posted on all your progress, of course. I mean, I see you all the time at social and we're always talking, but let me know how things are going. I'm always here for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's the other thing. The Facebook group is still there, and we're still meeting, with the group alumni or vets or whatever you want to call them. So I still feel the support and sense of community. It doesn't go away when you stop the sessions.
Oh, and that's a good point, because that wasn't initially part of the program when I started it, but that was something after my last cohort that one of the women was like, I would love to see a Success Without Sacrifice meetup. And I was like, great, we'll do a little alumni thing once a quarter. We'll bring everybody from the program back. So once you're in, you're going to be able to be part of that too. So you'll get that ongoing additional support once a quarter and meeting all the other women. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Forgot about that.
Yeah, no. I genuinely love it. So, yeah.
Amanda, it is so good to see you as always. Thank you for being here and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. It was fun to reflect on where I was a year ago and how far I've come. And it's just crazy how much happier I am, to be honest. So,
yes. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. If you know someone who might be good for the next round of Success with Sacrifice, or you want to apply, go right now to KarenFreeland.com/success. Make sure you act fast, because the early bird savings are going to end on the 12th of February. And that's $500 that you're going to keep in your pocket. So you don't want to miss out on that. Applications are required, and it's really important that you get them in because the seats are limited, as I said. So don't wait. If you want a more balanced life, you want to have better relationships, you want to reach your career goals, you've got to take care of yourself and invest in you. So go to KarenFreeland.com/success right now. Check out the program and get your application in. All right. Until next time, stay fabulous. Wait, don't go yet. If you resonated with my client's story of burnout, you've got to sign up for one of my Banish Burnout sessions. It's a totally free webinar with me. It's not recorded. I'm going to be there live on January 30th and February 1st, walking you through the phases of burnout, what to look for, and how to overcome each stage. The best part? You're going to walk out with a 30-day plan to banish burnout for good. At the end of the webinar, I'm also going to share details about how you can join Success Without Sacrifice, if that's of interest to you. But either way, you're going to leave the webinar empowered with new strategies that are custom built for you. Head over to KarenFreeland.com/burnout and secure your spot today. Let's make this the year you show up calm, confident, and collected in every facet of your life. Visit KarenFreeland.com/burnout right now to sign up. I can't wait to meet you.